Morning, all. We are starting the day off with the career of James Patrick. His last name Patrick, shared with Nolan Patrick. He is Nolan Patrick's uncle. He was drafted ninth overall in 1981 by the New York Rangers, and for a defenseman that never played an All-Star game, had quite the career. And again, just to show that an All-Star game doesn't necessarily mean a player's great, and not playing in an All-Star game doesn't mean a player's not pretty darn good as well. So for Patrick, he joins the New York Rangers in 83-84. This is after representing Canada at the 1984 Olympics. So, in 12 games with the Rangers, 1 goal, 7 assists, 8 points. Pretty strong start for him. And in the playoffs, 3 assists in 5 games. So in what would be his rookie season, 84-85, 75 games played, 8 goals, 28 assists, 36 points. Good at both ends of the ice. Solid numbers. In the playoffs, no points in 3 games. The one thing is, of course, he's joining a New York Rangers team that is known for being pretty good during the regular season at times and not getting over the hump in the postseason. 85-86, 75 games played, 14 goals, 29 assists for 43 points. So career high there. And then in the playoffs, he adds a goal, 5 assists for 6 points in 16 games. 86-87, 78 games played, 10 goals, 45 assists, 55 points. And in the playoffs, he adds a goal, 2 assists for 3 points in 6 games. And of course, this is during an era of tremendous offensively minded defensemen, some pretty good defensive defensemen as well. And so Patrick was a good defenseman who kind of fell through the cracks a bit with some of these seasons. 87-88, one of his best seasons, 70 games, 17 goals, 45 assists, 62 points. He ends up being 7th in Norris voting that year. So he does get Norris consideration that season, 88-89, 68 games played, 11 goals, 36 assists for 47 points. In the playoffs, he adds 1 assist in 4 games. Again, the New York Rangers, a team that just can't get over the hump in the playoffs. 89-90, plays 73 games that season, 14 goals, 43 assists, 57 points. So that's 5 seasons in a row with 10-plus goals from the blue line. Not too shabby. In the playoffs, he adds 3 goals, 8 assists for 11 points in 10 games. His best run in the playoffs from a points perspective. 90-91, 74 games played, 10 goals, 49 assists, 59 points. In the playoffs, no points in 6 games. But he's 8th in Norris voting again. So, top 10 in Norris voting twice in his career. Not too bad. Again, 91-92, 80 games played, 14 goals, 57 assists for 71 points. In the playoffs, 7 assists in 13 games. So we're up to the point now where the 1940 chants are getting louder and louder. 92-93, he plays 60 games that year, 5 goals, 21 assists, 26 points. So the offense drops off. He only plays the 60 games. And so things are starting to change up a bit. And 93-94, of course, the New York Rangers made all the moves necessary in order to win a Stanley Cup. Sadly for James Patrick, who had been in this city for a long time, played for the Rangers for a long while, wore the jersey when it said New York instead of Rangers on the away jersey. He only plays 6 games in 93-94 with the Rangers, gets 3 assists, and then he's traded. One of these tragic stories of, being with the Rangers for a long time and then being traded out as the team's looking for that Stanley Cup. And this is a big trade that helps get the Rangers to that Stanley Cup. He's traded with Darren Turcotte in exchange for 1994 6th-round pick, Nick Kyprios, Steve Larmer, and Barry Richter. Huge deal, right? So now he's with the Whalers. He doesn't last that long with the Whalers. Plays 47 games with the Whalers, 8 goals, 20 assists, 28 points. So solid offensive numbers. But March 10th, he's traded to the Calgary Flames, along with Michael Nylander and Zarley Zalapski. Going the other way, Ted Drury, Paul Ranheim, and Gary Suter. So huge deals made that same season involving James Patrick. So now he's with the Flames. And after the trade deadline, 15 games with Calgary, 2 goals, 2 assists, 4 points. In the playoffs, 1 assist in 7 games, as the Flames would lose in 7 against the Vancouver Canucks, a team that would then lose in the Stanley Cup final against James Patrick's former Rangers. So, 94-95 lockout shortened season. 43 games played, 10 assists. No goals for James Patrick that year. It was the only season in his career where he didn't record a goal. In the playoffs, 1 assist in 5 games. 95-96. Now we're into an era where the Flames are just dropping out of contention altogether. 80 games played, 3 goals, 32 assists, 35 points. So the assist total is pretty good. In the playoffs, no points in 4 games. Then we get to 96, 97. He misses most of the season. So injuries as a player gets older becomes more and more of an issue. The fact that James Patrick plays as many games as he does, despite missing so many games with injuries as he did throughout his career, remarkable. 19 games, 3 goals, 1 assist, 4 points for James Patrick that year. And then in what would be his final year in Calgary, 97-98, 60 games played, 6 goals, 11 assists, 17 points. But James Patrick's a veteran. He is good defensively, so while the offense has dropped off, he's good defensively. You know he's going to miss some games here and there, but that's okay. He is signed October 7th by the Buffalo Sabres. So right as the season's getting started, he is signed by the Sabres in 98-99. 45 games played, 1 goal, 7 assists, 8 points. You know the story of the 1999 Sabres. They get all the way to the Stanley Cup final. So that's 20 games played in the playoffs by James Patrick, 1 assist. And, of course, they came up short against Dallas in the Stanley Cup final that year. 99-2000 and 66 games played, James Patrick, 5 goals, 8 assists, 13 points before recording an assist in 5 playoff games. 2000-2001, he plays 54 games, 4 goals, 9 assists, 13 points, and in 13 playoff games adds a goal and 2 assists. 2001-2002, 58 games played, 5 goals, 8 assists, 13 points. You could really just count on 13 points a year from him at this point in his career, which is not great for fantasy, right? But 2002-2003, his numbers come up a little bit. 69 games, 4 goals, 12 assists for 16 points. So again, just really reliable defensive defenseman, can chip in a little bit here and there. 2003-2004, in what would be his final season, 55 games played, 4 goals, 7 assists, 11 points. He would retire from the National Hockey League September 8th of 2005. That's after the new collective bargaining agreement came in and we had the salary cap and Patrick's career ended. Now, it's possible maybe he wouldn't have played the 04-05 season, but we'll never know. 1,280 games played in his career. That's a long time. 149 goals, 490 assists, 639 points. Not bad for a defenseman. And in the playoffs, 117 games played, 6 goals, 32 assists, 38 points. He did win gold on Team Canada at the Canada Cup. He did win silver at the World Championships in 1989. He wore Team Canada's jersey quite a bit between World Juniors, World Championships, and the Canada Cup. And he is now the coach of the Winnipeg Ice in the WHL. So it's one of those careers that went on for a very long time. He ended up not receiving the accolades maybe that he could have deserved at the time. To me, it kind of feels like a John Carlson kind of, and I know John Carlson's been to All-Star games. I know he's a higher profile defenseman than Patrick was. But of course, with Carlson, he hasn't won a Norris Trophy. And with Patrick, that's kind of part of the story as well. But very good defenseman, good two-way defenseman throughout most of his time with the Rangers, and then some solid defensive play after that. He stuck around the league for a very long time, starting in 83-84, going to 03-04, and having been drafted in 81. So nice, solid, long career, and he's still in hockey. So all the best to him. All the best to everybody watching this video, of course. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. As always, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. If you're browsing your way through, you just happen upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.